Inside the opulent court of King Krishnachandra, there was a bitter rivalry between two men. On one side stood the king's minister, a man defined by his intense, rigid work ethic. On the other was the legendary court jester, Gopal Bhaur, who relied entirely on his sharp wit and relaxed demeanor. Looking to settle this rivalry, the king assigns both men a shared mission: travel to a distant ashram and deliver a royal invitation to his spiritual master, Gurudev. But this errand is a trap. The king designed the journey as a carefully disguised psychological test. He wants clear proof of which courtier possesses the superior intellect. The minister immediately spots an opportunity. He plans to use exhaustive, brute force labor on the trip to humiliate Gopal and win the king's favor. The stage is set to see if raw physical effort can outmatch keen situational awareness. The two men arrive at the ashram, kicking off the first of their trials. The minister immediately springs into action. He exhausts himself gathering heavy firewood and prepping the kitchen, determined to cook a massive feast to impress Gurudev. Gopal takes a completely different path. He avoids the physical labor entirely by observing the calendar. He realizes it is Ekadashi, a holy day in the Hindu tradition requiring strict fasting. Instead of cooking, he simply presents Gurudev with a plate of fresh fruit, instantly winning the master's favor. The minister's exhaustion yields nothing. Hard work is useless and can even be counterproductive if applied blindly without understanding the context of the situation. For the journey home, Gurudev provides the men with 5 flatbreads for the road. He gives 3 to Gopal and 2 to the minister. Along the road, a starving traveler joins them. Agreeing to help, the 3 men sit down, divide the 5 flatbreads, and eat an equal share. Before departing, the traveler leaves behind exactly 5 gold coins as a gesture of gratitude for the meal. Conflict immediately erupts over the money. The minister demands 2.5 coins. He relies on the superficial logic that since both he and Gopal shared equally with the traveler, the reward must be split evenly down the middle. Gopal stops the minister and rejects the 50-50 split. He argues that true fairness requires a much deeper fractional breakdown of what actually happened. 5 flatbreads split into thirds make 15 pieces. Shared equally among 3 men, each ate 5. The minister brought 2 flatbreads, 6 pieces. He eats 5, leaving 1 for the traveler. Gopal brought 3, 9 pieces. He eats 5, leaving 4. The math perfectly dictates the reward. The 5 gold coins represent the 5 pieces of food given to the traveler. Therefore, a mathematically flawless split is 4 coins for Gopal and 1 for the minister. Back at the king's court, the minister indignantly complains, accusing Gopal of using twisted math to steal his money. At that moment, Gurudev arrives at the court and reveals the truth. The starving traveler on the road was actually his own disciple in disguise. The gold coin dispute was never an accident. It was a premeditated final test of analytical deduction, orchestrated by Gurudev himself, to answer the king's original question. The minister failed because he relied on superficial assumptions of equality to demand his reward. Gopal succeeded by trusting precise, objective logic to calculate the actual value of his contribution. True intellect, the kind that makes legendary figures like Gopal so enduring, is not defined by performative sweat. It relies entirely on the powerful combination of acute situational awareness and unassailable logic.